Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to whomever you are, wherever you are on the planet. This is Peter, and welcome to number 11. I've come across several people who, despite their ignorance, claim that the Zeitgeist movement has a lot of big ideas, but there is very little concrete follow-through. Basically, can you emphasize the need for gathering critical mass before attempting the next step? Yes. Back to the prior point, people sometimes lose encouragement when they see the difficulty that lies ahead and the magnitude of what we are trying to achieve. The Zeitgeist movement, again, is in its infancy. We can't do anything until we have more support for the direction. It's like two people going to Union Square in New York, holding up signs, trying to draw attention to some social problem. Most people will walk past these two people with very little regard, but instead of two people, if there were 2,000 people, suddenly people are going to say, well, there's mass interest, so therefore I might be interested in listening. This is the simple reality of mass influence and the need for critical mass.
5. Reject the political system. The illusion of democracy is an insult to our intelligence. In a monetary system, there is no such thing as a true democracy, and there never was. We have two political parties owned by the same set of corporate lobbyists. They are placed in their positions by the corporations, with popularity artificially projected by their media. In a system of inherent corruption, the change of personnel every couple of years has very little relevance. Instead of pretending that the political game has any true meaning, focus your energy on how to transcend this failed system. And 6. Join the movement. Go to the zeitgeistmovement.com and help us create the largest mass movement for social change the world has ever seen. We must mobilize and educate everyone about the inherent corruption of our current and 6, and 6, and 6, and 6, and 6, and 6, and 6. Join the movement.
Είναι πολύ ενδιαφέρον το θέμα που ακολουθεί, το ξέρω.
Ωραία. Να σου συστήσουμε τον κύριο Φώτη Γροντά. Καλή σας μέρα, καλώς ήρθατε. Είστε μέλος του κινήματος Zeitgeist.
Ακριβώς.
Λοιπόν, εγώ δεν γνώρισα την ύπαρξή του, παρότι έμαθα με έκπληξη ότι είναι απλωμένο παγκοσμίως.
Είναι παγκοσμίως, όντως.
Χιλιάδες, εκατοντάδες χιλιάδες ή εκατομμύρια.
Αυτή τη στιγμή διεθνώς είναι περίπου 700.000 μέλη.
I find it amusing that while over 380,000 people, and counting, share the vision of Jacques Fresco in the directions of the Venus Project.
Φωτογραφιστής και ακτιβιστής Πίτερ Τζόζεφ, ένας νέος άνθρωπος, Αμερικανός, γύρισε την ταινία Zeitgeist, η οποία και βραβεύτηκε στο Activist Film Festival που γίνεται κάθε χρόνο στις ΗΠΑ. Αυτή η ταινία επιχειρεί να ανιχνεύσει τις ρίζες της διαφθοράς, τους τρόπους με τους οποίους λειτουργεί το παρόν οικονομικό σύστημα και προτείνει και μια εναλλακτική λύση για το σήμερα. Να τελειώσουμε λίγο με το ιστορικό.
Παρακαλώ, πείτε.
Η ταινία δόθηκε ελεύθερα στο ίντερνετ. Το αποτέλεσμα ήταν ότι σε 2 μήνες είχε μια θέαση 50.000 θεατών την ημέρα. Μέχρι σήμερα εκτιμάται ότι την έχουν δει πάνω από 250 εκατομμύρια άνθρωποι.
Βλέπουμε και τα πλάνα.
According to Peter Joseph, who started the Zeitgeist movement, he told me 2 months ago that 50 million people now know about the Venus Project and are all working toward it. So I have a whole pile of magazines from all over the world, each one talking about the Venus Project positively. If you don't say this, 50 million people in the world now know about the Venus Project.
Are there any other procedural things you want to give them to do? I know.
Organized to do what I said. Go to different corporations and tell them there are 50 million people that now know about the Venus Project.
There are 50 million people that now know about the Venus Project.
It's easy to say Fresco is foolishness. It's easy to say Fresco is foolishness. It's easy to say Fresco is foolishness.
It's easy to say Fresco is foolishness.
In all the world.
Yeah. Okay, I notice you're going to be 96 in 2012. 96 divided by 3 is 33. 96 divided by 3 is 33. 96 divided by 3 is 33.
96 divided by 3 is 33.
Based upon that, we have 33 minutes left of battery, which means I need to give you a harder time now and ask you some more difficult questions, I think. And
mad at anything else?
No, but please don't get offended if I interrupt you as well, if when we're talking.
And that I know that I myself, in 2 years, will be changed. If I live that long, I'll change things.
I think you will live to 2012.
I have no fixed notion of what the world order. The Venus Project differs from other projects in that when I said to myself, how are you going to change people? I said, I didn't know. So I joined the Ku Klux Klan. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't.
In Miami.
Did you?
And I dissolved it in a month and a half. There were 32 members, including the head guy.
Were you the 33rd member? Were you the 33rd member?
I was.
Okay, because we all know K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, 311. 311 is KKK, and 3 11s are also 33, so some good numerology going on there.
Here's a technical question. It's by 2050, it's claimed that there will be over 10 billion people on the planet. Do you think by our current methods today that we will be able to deal with that type of population?
Well, we have the methods, but we don't apply them.
I mean, today, what we're doing right now in the monetary system. Do you think that this population growth will be extremely detrimental?
Yes,
Yes,
I do.
I think so too.
I think that in the future, with a better and more relevant education, people will study what the carrying capacity of the Earth is, and environment, and maintain a population in accordance with the carrying capacity of the Earth, not someone's opinion. If the Vatican said, go forth and multiply, and the Lord will provide, all I would say to the Vatican, if he doesn't provide, will you?
I believe there's going to be a heavy compromised move of collapse within the next few years. It's going to go unabated. There isn't going to be an economic recovery. It's only just going to be more and more conditioning to get used to the state of affairs as the standards of living drop for virtually everyone except the upper 1%. And as you all know from the statistics, the stratification is getting nothing but stronger. The global stratification is its highest level probably ever. I'd say it's probably worse than the peasants and the dynasties if you really put it into perspective, but I can't say that definitively. But the illusion is so powerful that people not only accept the system and accept the stratification, accept the idea of their self-worth being less, therefore they can't get a job. Well, I can't get a job because I must not be very good. I mean, there was a poor girl who killed herself last year, which I think you might have read about, because she couldn't find a job. She submitted 200 applications, wrote a suicide note, said, I'm not worth anything.
But it's not just violence, it's mental disorders, it's neuroses, it's even things like teen birth rate, not to mention outrageous amounts of drug abuse correlations. The stress, it's called psychosocial stress. And when you live in a society that throws this in your face, when you say, oh, look at this person has the Ferrari and the 50-room mansion, and then you sit in your kind of modest life, it has a natural gravitation for inferiority and shame and feeling of your self-worth is lowered, as this system, of course, perpetuates explicitly. If you don't have a job, remember, you probably heard about that poor girl that committed suicide because she had 300 job applications rejected. She was like 21, and her self-worth was so destroyed by this, because that's how we define self-worth in the system, that she actually committed suicide. And this is rampant. I mean, this isn't a singular case.